So the grab-and-go espresso stand in Seattle, or near Seattle, is in big trouble, okay? They have what is known as bikini baristas. And we've talked about a lot of different coffee shops that are doing this. Scantily clad women wearing bikinis, showing off their cha-chas.
Let's go to the videotape.
Okay, let's
go
to
the videotape is so good. They did a report on this, local news, and then I, as always, have many things to say about it. But this is fantastic stuff. Let's watch.
Only on Q13 Fox News tonight, they came for coffee, but got quite a show. And the camera catches a local bikini barista bearing it all. The lewd behavior launched a police investigation. Now 5 local women are facing prostitution charges.
Let's get right to Q13 Fox News reporter James Lynch, who has been following this story all day. James.
Yeah, I bet he's been following it.
Unbelievable, Maria. This is the culmination of a 2-month investigation by the Everett Police Department. They probably don't know it yet because the filings came late this evening. But 5 grab-and-go baristas working within the city of Everett are now charged with multiple counts of prostitution and multiple violations of the city's adult entertainment ordinance.
Booyah.
It was behavior like this, witnessed by Everett investigators, that led to today's charges.
I can't even
Police
see what's
say it
going
happened
on.
here at the Grab-and-Go Bikini Coffee Hut in the 8000 block of Broadway. As we watched this evening, cars, one after another, pulled. Neighbors say traffic here lasts all day and all night. We
Gee, I
shot
wonder
this
why.
video from a nearby home, and the homeowner says she's been shocked at what she sees.
Shocked.
She chose not to go on camera.
They had spread their underwear into their shots.
The video you see here was shot at a different grab-and-go bikini hut on Highway 99 in Snohomish County, just outside Everett. None of the girls here have been charged, but this video shows the conduct with some of them is the same. After the driver ordered coffee and paid, the barista held up the change, about $16, and asked if he wanted something extra. When he asked what, she says, a flash, and proceeded to drop her bottoms, flash her vagina, spread her cheeks, and flash her rear. Then she turned around again and flashed her vagina.
Oh, there it is.
Extra money, these women would expose their entire body. They would take, if they were wearing a bikini, they would either take it off or at least lower it. There were some allegations, complaints from our citizens that they were performing whipped cream shows between two of the women.
As for the prostitution
Who
charges,
complains
police
about
say
that?
there doesn't appear to have been actual intercourse. Instead, the sexual conduct, as defined by the Everett Municipal Code, included any touching of the sexual and other intimate parts of a person. This woman, who again was not charged, says not all of the baristas break the law.
Girls want to do what they want to do and they want to get in trouble for it, they can do it. Not all the girls do bad.
Now, we talked to the owner of Grab-and-Go Espresso. He says he hasn't seen the police report, but gave us a statement about his company policy. Bill Wheeler says the girls sign a policy which is strictly enforced, and any violation or illegal activity means they're immediately fired. Wheeler says every girl who works for him knows what attire is acceptable for work. The girls must cover their bottoms and use pasties if necessary. He says the policy also makes it clear that the girls may not use whipped cream on their bodies and that no sexual gestures are allowed. Wheeler, at this time, Maria, doesn't face any charges at all.
No whipped cream
So how
policy.
serious are these charges, though, that the girls are facing?
All right, now, this is fantastic. They might get 90 days.
And up to a $1,000 fine. It is important to note, I think, that a lot of other of these bikini barista huts have allegations that have been lodged against them of similar activity. But I guess we can only assume that there hadn't been as many complaints against those as the police say that they have had against Grab-and-Go, which led to their investigation.
Okay. All right. Now, first of all, who doesn't want to find the guy who complained about this? Because presumably they're not doing it to women, right? But some jerk rolled in there and she's like, hey, you want to see my boobs? And he's like, I'm going to call the cops. This is outrageous. Look at this. They have put the whipped cream on their boobies and they're rubbing it against one another.
In the beginning of that report, they had a woman who lives right next to it.
Oh, of course. It's always a woman. You see, ratted them out. Everybody was having fun. They're making money.
Jake.
The guys are having fun. There are whipped cream shows, although it is technically policy that there be no whipped cream shows. Okay. Now, go ahead. Go ahead, Debbie Downer. You tell me what's wrong with it.
First of all, stop calling me Debbie Downer. I take a lot of offense to that.
Okay.
Okay? And second of all, look, the woman doesn't want to see a peep show every time she looks out her window. That's understandable.
Move.
There are zoning laws for a reason.
Oh, please. Okay. Look, this is,
I don't know.
her actions are un-American. Okay. Now, what
They're
do you?
un-American to you because you're a man who likes this type of stuff.
Now, look, I thought we lived in a free country. Okay. Now, look, they charge them with prostitution, but there ain't no prostitution going on. It's not like they're going around the back and doing an actual grab and go. You see what I'm saying?
Maybe
right?
they are. You don't know that.
Yeah, look, that's also interesting. But that's a different thing, right? Here, all they're doing is the great American tradition of showing their boobannies. Okay? And
That's the great American tradition.
well, of course it is. Have you not seen any television in the last 20 years? Girls Gone Wild. Okay? Girls Gone Grab and Go. Mm-hmm. So they're, and everybody wins. The guys get to see it. That's why they're lined up around the corner. You saw it in the video. Lined up around the corner all day and night, right? Mm-hmm. Girls get more money. And did you understand from the story what kind of money they're getting? Because is it that they're keeping the change? Like, does she keep the $16 change?
I think they charge like an extra, who knows how much, an extra, charge for.
But it seemed like, I got the sense that they were holding on to the change. Like, oh, I got $16 in change. Now, if I, show you my badge, does it make sense for me to keep it? And then the guy says, yeah, that makes sense. Let me go ahead and see what's up with that.
Okay. Altogether, I don't have a problem with this coffee hut. Okay? I think the woman who lives in a house right next to it and doesn't want to see a peep show, okay, she has a right to be upset about it. Okay? I personally don't care. It's none of my business. If these women want to flash their vag for $16, go ahead. All the power to you. But I mean, at the same time, you think, come on, girls, do you really want to lower yourself to that?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's not like, I'm not encouraging people to do it. I'm just
if you're
saying,
gonna flash
if
your
they
vag,
are doing it,
if you're going to flash your vag, flash it for a little more money. $16?
No, but it's actually good money for something that's really, really simple. Because people are doing it for free these days. You go out to
Really? So you walk outside the street and you see women flashing their badges?
I mean, you do if you're in New Orleans and it's Mardi Gras, or you do if, girls don't want, it depends on the party, right?
Okay.
So they're getting $16 for doing this. It's the easiest thing in the world. Now, if I could get $16 for doing this, I'd probably do it.
Would you show your...
No, I probably wouldn't go downstairs.
Of
I mean,
course.
I don't want to shock the conscience, but... And I love that in the news story. They're like, we found this to be shocking. Like, really. The first thing I would have thought if they set up a grab and go at my place with the bikini baristas is, let me go see if they flash. Mm-hmm. Okay, and if they did, I wouldn't be shocked by it.
Right.
No, I'm totally in favor. There's no way you're going to move me on it. And if that lady across the streets, if her name is Debbie Schlusel, she's got to move.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that this woman who bought a house has to move
or look out another window.
To do
look out another window. Look at how many people are happy with this system. A line around the corner, and you're going to go screw that up because one of your windows has boobannies in it.
Okay, as I said before, I'm not 100% against this business, okay? I don't care. But
are you not merciful?
No. But the fact that you're so for it makes me want to be against it. It's the fact that you're so over the top makes me want to hate it.
No. You know why I'm that over the top? It's because no one gets hurt. That's the America I know and love, okay? Everybody wins. It's what they call a win-win. Mm-hmm. Okay, over and over throughout the day. And they don't have to do anything that terrible, the girls. Mm-hmm. You see, that's why Bikini baristas, grab and go. I'm with you. I'm on your side.